push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Wednesday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley on this side of the table. And on that side of the table, it is the one, the only, the voice of the Mahoning Valley Scrappers and so much more, Richie Giuliano. Good afternoon, Rich.
Good afternoon, DJ.
Greetings to you.
And welcome to Eastwood Field.
It's a balmy 98 degrees here at East Palestine. Big time show for you. We have the head coach of the Orange Lions will join us here shortly in a pre-recorded interview this morning. He's a working man, Rich. He doesn't have time for 3 o'clock. His team's on the field right now, getting better and trying to go up against a local team we've known for a long time, Mineral Ridge, and that's going to be a slobber knocker.
How about Mineral Ridge putting it to Pie Valley? And everybody had Pie Valley winning that because of what happened last year and how good that team was a year ago. And then Mineral Ridge comes out and they spank them. And now they're going to take on Orange, which is kind of special to us because Orange in non-conference play, this is going to be their first week on YSN, and it's going to be a lot of fun with two teams that are now under our umbrella.
Two teams under the umbrella, two teams the exact same color.
Yeah, that's right.
Orange has the black helmet with the O, which is a cross between Oregon and Oakley. So it's a little bit of a, I think it's like wide, but like, I don't know, squish.
Have you ever seen the travel baseball team, Ohio Elite?
Yes.
It reminds me of that.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And it's a matte helmet with a bright, shiny O that's orange. I dig it. But I got to tell them, if we're going off the battle of the helmets, Mineral Ridge is off the charts.
They're good, yeah.
Love the Ram horns. Like, can you ever beat the Ram horns? I don't think. We had a question of the day, which was, what's your favorite local helmet? And a lot of Niles, which that's a Michigan look. Yeah. I'm not sure that it's in its own class.
Yeah.
Beaver Local has the same one.
Yep.
But Mineral Ridge got a lot of votes. A lot of votes. So we want to know who's your favorite helmet here locally, or I guess under the YSN banner. Who would you want to see? Who would you have a helmet of in your man cave?
Howland.
You like the Howland helmet?
Yep.
With the does it still have the tiger on it?
They used to have the tiger on it. I wasn't able to watch that week 1 game.
Tell me Howland wouldn't be sweet if they had the Bengals helmet.
Oh yeah.
I love the Bengals.
But I always like that big tiger on the side of the helmet.
It's a good one. I love Canfield's.
Canfield's is nice. Yeah.
The black helmet with the cardinal.
Nice. And now Arizona trying to copy Canfield. They should write a copyright claim to him.
Pav is probably sitting there as we speak with a cease and desist, just ready to go, shooting it out the old mailer. We got a pretty good on this day in sports history. Let's get to it right now and start the show. All right, on this day in sports history, 1951, August 24th, Bill Veek's Fans Manager Night. Browns defeat the A's 5-3. The Browns coaches hold up placards. The hell's a placard?
Placard.
I thought it was place cards for fans to vote on strategy options. All right. Yeah, I think you know where I'm going with this one. Fans, what's it called? Fans Choice? Fans Managers Night. Okay. Fans managers night for the Guardians.
Oh gosh.
What placard is Richie holding up in the stands?
Class A.
Just one guy's name.
Exclamation point.
All right. Now, my Pirates, they're down 8-0 as we speak.
Cruz
just hit a 90 billion mile an hour hit off the wall. I think I would just say move with the exclamation point. Like, time to go. If you can't win anymore with these guys, like we got a bunch of
Or
average
sell.
Joes, like just leave, buy, sell, move, whatever you got to. Did you see that kid, by the way?
Yeah.
That did
Talking
it with
to
Nutting. And Nutting did the double, like he put his arm around him and like this, and people got pictures of
Did
it.
he unbutton his shirt because he had like a little like jersey over it?
It was beautiful. It was a
Sell the
beaut.
team.
Nailed it. And the look on his face was just pure, it was joy.
I know.
It was perfect. Perfectly executed. All right. Browns on fan managers night.
Oh boy. Chubb.
Just run the ball.
Run the ball.
Run the football. Ours, for the Steelers, I would probably say Kenny. Just Kenny.
Just Kenny.
I like Mitchell Trubisky,
Yeah.
but I think Kenny's the guy. He's got some Browns fans real nervous. I was watching on.
He's good.
I was watching it. I said early, I heard this very early on, that Kenny Pickett, this is before he was drafted, Kenny Pickett has the numbers of Joe Flacco, or not Joe Flacco, Joe
Burrow.
Burrow, thank you. Can you imagine that? Imagine that division.
That'll be tough. That'll be, another old school division.
It would be, well, it wouldn't be the AFC North that we're used to. It's not your daddy's AFC North. It would be like the new generation. 4 great quarterbacks, if you think about it, battling it out. Who's the weakest? If Kenny ends up being like Joe Burrow, who's the weakest in that division?
The Browns, probably.
For the first 11 games, at least.
Probably the Browns.
I mean, do the Browns make a move here?
No.
Okay. I don't think so either.
I mean, they've already shown. I mean, Jimmy G was their only option.
They're all in on.
They're not going in on him.
They're in on Brissett.
Yeah.
They like it. And they got.
But he hasn't played a preseason snap yet.
No. You know what I thought was really interesting? Bernie Kosar's number, first off, isn't retired. Secondly, they gave it to a quarterback that Josh Rosen has. He's wearing his number.
He is.
First, when he popped up, now I'm watching the game just leisurely, like hear that. All of a sudden, I see 19, and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. I think that number should be retired.
It should be.
And it's a quarterback. Now, if it's a wide receiver, I think that's cool. It's a different position. But that number to me should be retired in the rafters in First Energy Stadium. But yeesh, I don't know, man. There's something about that. Now, that guy could end up getting cut, whenever Watson comes back. Because, I mean, they're only going to carry 3 quarterbacks, you'd assume, right? So you got Brissett, you got Rosen. Who's the other one right now?
The third string.
Yeah, isn't there some scrub?
They have.
Oh, no, it's Josh Dobbs.
Oh, Stanton.
Dobbs.
And Dobbs.
They got 4 quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
So Stanton's not going to be there.
No, Stanton's with the Lions now.
Okay.
He was with the Browns.
I think Dobbs is going to be there. Rosen's going to go.
Yep.
And you might as well hang that jersey up with him.
Yep.
So interesting stuff. We have a great show for you today. Again, we have a great interview. Do you want to just get to it?
Yeah.
Let's just get to it right now. I had a chance to talk to the Orange head football coach, and without further ado, here he is. Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you, and this is a very special occasion because breaking news: Orange has joined the ranks here at YSN. They have joined the family, and for the first time ever, Coach Rob Senor, the head football coach, sitting down to talk some Orange Lion football with us here, and it's all brought to you by our friends over at Baird Brothers. Coach, first off, your first year with the program. Talk to me about your goals coming into this particular, what mindset you guys are into, and in 2022, what your goals are to be accomplished.
Sure. So first of all, we're excited to be part of YSN. This is our first endeavor with you guys, this actual interview. So we're excited. We're excited for our kids to be part of YSN. And I know, DJ, I've had a chance to talk to you a couple times, and you got a lot of energy and are going to help our football program in a positive way. So we're excited about that. Our goals, we are trying to change the culture of Orange football. You know, I've hired 5 new guys on my staff, a couple carryovers from the previous staff. I was on the previous staff. We're trying to change the culture. We're making sure that football is important at Orange. We're making sure our kids are committed. That's our first step, is commitment. And to that note, you know, we had about 99% attendance rate during two-a-days and through the first week of the season. And that commitment has been good. Now we're at the point where we're trying to go commit with a purpose. Being there is good. Being there and doing something is what we need next. So it's really step by step, small steps, learning how we coach, learning our expectations. And our kids are getting there. We've been proud of them so far, but we got a long way to go.
So when you're talking about expectations, it's hard to set expectations without saying we want to win this game, win this game, win this game. Obviously, Beechwood, a big-time rival for Orange. For those down here that don't know that, you come up a little bit short last week. Now you got to turn the page to a team that you're not really familiar with in Mineral Ridge. How do you kind of keep things focused in a team that you're not comfortable with, you don't play very often, and keep that excitement level up?
You know, first, when we look back at our game week 1, you know, they were a very good team. I don't want to take anything away from them, but we've learned, and we're imploring in our kids, that's about what we do. We need to get better each week. You know, we're not at the point yet where we can scheme up a whole lot. We just need to get better at what we do, at our fundamentals, at our program, at our scheme. And, you know, we're using that to catapult us into a team like Mineral Ridge, where, while we're not that familiar with them, it's not going to matter what they do. It's going to matter what we do. We need to, you know, cliche-wise, take care of the football, execute our blocking assignments, and we need to tackle better. So really those basics, and that's how we're keeping them energized, and really trying to analyze each week what we can do better, analyze on film, do we get better? And while the score certainly was not the way that we had hoped, we were able to find things that our kids did well and things that we need to build on. And we're going to continue to do that week to week, no matter what the outcome is.
Coach, what things do you want people to know about Orange football as they walk into a stadium and they see your kids on the field? What do you really hang your hat on, offensively, defensively, as a program?
We lost the connection there for a second, DJ. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So when you're talking about programs, what do you guys hang your hat on, offensively, defensively, just as a program in general? What things do you want to know? You played Orange this Friday night.
You know, we're it's funny you ask that. We are still trying to figure out our identity right now. In the long term, we want to be a technically sound, physical football program. We are not there. You know, full disclosure, our kids are working, and we are. I'm sorry. I'm working. I got a day job, and that's going on in the background.
You're fine, buddy.
So, you know, we are working to become a physical, aggressive, well-disciplined football team. You know, it's interesting to note that of the 55 kids on our roster, which is a good number for our football program, 35 of them are freshmen and sophomores, many of them without a lot of playing experience. Now, that is not an excuse. We are not using that as an excuse. We're using that as a fact that we are looking for our identity as a football team, and we're going to get there, but we're still searching.
With so many first-year players, who do you, I guess, lean on from a locker room standpoint to be a leader out on the field? I mean, can you name some guys for us?
Yeah, so we have the first guy that comes to mind is a senior, Willie Jones. Willie's an outside linebacker. He's just that energy guy. He brings that to the table for us, pulls the young guys along with him. He's done a good job being a leader for us. The team also elected captains, and we did something a little bit different. We elected a senior captain, a junior captain, and a sophomore captain. I've been working with those guys on ways they can lead, on their leadership ability, not just in their own class, but throughout the program. So that's, you know, something that we're working on. but Willie is our energy guy. And then, I do have a group of 9 seniors that a bunch of them have experience, and they need to take it to the next level with their experience and their ability to lead on Friday nights.
So when you're looking for experience, you're looking for leadership. This is a big thing for us here at YSN and why when you talk to coaches. What are you looking for? I mean, it's great to lead and tackles on the field and throw for touchdowns and, run for touchdowns. But what are you looking for out of a leader that's going to take them not only well in this season, but like in years to come in their life?
Yeah. Well, football, we coach football to teach life skills, and we try to apply life skills as much as possible. And that leadership ability is something that we want these kids to take with them. But not everybody is that vocal leader, and we understand that. We're okay with that. I got 2 seniors, Michael Robinson and Bryant Mitchell, receivers, DBs, who have been playing football for 4 years, and those guys do lead by example. Bryant played a nice game on Friday night, and he's not a rah-rah guy. He's not a yeller or a screamer, and I don't want him to be something that he's not. But he leads by example, and as coaches, we need to learn who can do what and who can lead by example and who can lead with their voice. But to lead with your voice, you got to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk also.
Now I'm excited for this next part because I want people to be introduced to you. So talk us through who you are, why football is so important to you, and why you kind of felt the need to be a head coach at a school that is so. I mean, listen, I was there at the school board meeting the other night. Orange cares about their kids and they care about their sports.
Yeah. So, I've been coaching high school football for 20 years, and there was a point in my life where I wanted to be a head coach. Then I got an assistant coaching. So I coached 10 years at Shaker Heights, and then I popped around a little bit. I settled in Orange, and my kids go to Orange. I live in the community. And when Coach Beckham, the previous coach, stepped down, I said, man, this is the right place at the right time for me to have an impact on kids who live in the same community as me, kids that go to school with my kids. I knew that I had just the opportunity to have this great ability to help kids. And Orange is a really diverse, great school system with lots of great people. Like you said, they care a lot, and we need to take it to the next level. We're far from perfect, and we need to take it to the next level. And I want to be that agent of change, along with many other coaches and teachers in this building, to take things to the next level.
What are some of the short-term goals that you have? I mean, this week, this month, what short-term goals do you have for your players, your coaching?
Shamma Jenkins, report to the main office.
So again, short-term, we are really, I hate to be repetitive, but going small measuring stick.
Sure.
Lessening the missed tackles that we had last week. We documented those, lessening the missed assignments we had on the O-line, lessening our penalties. So those little things, we're just trying to get better each week to measure our improvement.
All right, so we got to take a step off the field. The X's and O's, we're going to push those to the side. You're done with that part for the week. Now we get to know you a little bit more and talk a little bit, chop it up, if you will. If you could go anywhere on vacation, and it's not this time of year, where would it be and why? So
it's funny, and I'm going to go there. My family and I are avid Disney people.
Oh, boy.
We go at least once a year pretty much. My in-laws live down in Central Florida. My kids are very, very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. Half my paycheck ends up in Disney's pocket. But so I love going back. There's the logistical piece of planning that I love, and that's the football coach in me. So I also like going on cruises. Give me Disney or give me a beach, and I'm happy.
Okay, so now that we're on the Disney train, we got to start asking some maybe embarrassing questions.
Go for it.
What is the one movie that you love more than anything at Disney that you wouldn't want your players to know that you love?
Gotcha. I'm going to think about that one. So keep in mind that I have 3 daughters. I have now a senior in high school, plays volleyball at Orange, so hopefully you guys will get to cover her.
Sure.
I have a sophomore who plays on the JV volleyball team, and then I have a 10-year-old. So, I've done a lot of princess movies. I've done the whole deal. I've eaten dinner and breakfast with princesses at Disney. but my favorite Disney movie right now is probably Moana, and I think it's a whole beach theme.
Yep. Now, do you sing the Maui theme song, or what is it? You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't sing that, DJ? You know, everybody sings that one.
What is the one song that you guys play in the car? Or I guess here's the better question: the song that you play when nobody's around in the car, that you keep the windows up and you're singing, that other people would go, "Is that Coach Senor singing singing that song?"
Well, you outed me now, man. There's no turning back at this point. You know, there's, again, we go deep. There's a song called Lava about these two volcanoes that we sing as a family.
I love it, man. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Who have been the role models to you in your life to get you to where you are today?
I've worked with so many great coaches, starting with Dave Sedmak, who was the head coach at Shaker for a long time. He gave me my second coaching job. He took me on as a volunteer, and then I was on his staff for 10 years. He taught me a lot, and on that staff, Tim Richards and Bino Watkins were offensive and defensive coordinators who taught me a ton. I worked with, a guy, Greg Knackley, who was the head coach at Wycliffe out this way, who had a couple undefeated teams, taught me a ton, still a great friend of mine. And then, Coach Becklem at Orange, who was also really a good friend of mine. He's an unbelievable football coach and had a lot of great teams here at Orange. And he's taught me a lot. And the old defensive coordinator at Orange, Tom Mitch, and these guys are still great friends of mine. And while they're not coaching, I lean on them a lot in my first year as a head coach.
Best advice you've ever received from a coach?
Man, stay true to yourself. Be who you are. I'm not a screamer and a yeller, and I need to stand true to that. I do it when I need to, but I need to be Rob Senor. I don't need to be anybody else, and I've really focused on that in my first year.
Coach Senor, we are so excited to have you on the network, part of the family, and I'm excited to get you know more and more each and every week right here on Coach's Corner. Thanks so much for the time. We'll see you next week.
DJ, thank you. We'll see YSN Friday night out at Mineral Ridge, and I'll talk to you soon.
So there he is. That dude, the excitement almost just oozing out of his pores for a first-year coach who is, you can tell knows a thing or two about a thing or two. But, Rich, we're excited to have Orange, but I think the biggest thing, we were expecting almost people to be, well, it's not Youngstown. People are excited because now they get to see Cuyahoga County and they get to see kind of how their football stacks up. And I never thought it's people like kind of pushing their limits too of, hey, we're going to watch this because we're interested. And, one of our main pitches, as you know, is, hey, you get to be seen by everybody. You never know who's going to be tuning in. But the nice thing about it, that live tab on ysnlive.com, you can have 40 games and you can just click all the way down. So, I love that he was a Disney guy. He's a super, super guy. I can't wait to see him on the sidelines, what he's like, what his temperament is. But as a human being, one of the nicest guys you could ever meet. And he cares about these kids, as most coaches do. But he has a certain feeling for this particular school district in Orange, and it's very special.
Yeah, it is. And, for the Orange community, I think it's going to be a great addition, having a local streaming company that comes in and does all of their events because, like we've kind of talked about here and there, they've got some of the best programs in the country. When you look at their tennis program, they got field hockey. Who else has field hockey around here?
Couldn't tell you.
Nobody. Not one team.
Lacrosse.
Boys
and girls, by the way.
They got a really good lacrosse program over there at Orange. So, they're very good at some very meticulous sports, which is going to be really fun to watch, come the fall and then as we move into the spring season.
Swimming and diving as well. They have their own pool. And what I will tell teams, if you're out there listening, you're out there watching, is if you have swimming and diving teams that are looking for meets, I talked to Tim Porter, who is their AD out there. Contact them. They would love to have you up, love to have you out. Same thing with lacrosse and any of these, I don't want to say off-branded sports because that's not fair, but any of these not main sports, right? Everybody knows football, baseball, basketball, softball, volleyball,
soccer.
It is soccer. The other ones, if you have these teams, get involved, get out there. They have a hockey team, which you and I, we're going up.
Hockey's big in that area. I know that the Gilmore Academy, who's right next door, they have a really good hockey team as well. They have 2 ice rinks at Gilmore Academy. I'm not sure. Do they have an ice rink at Orange?
They have it's called the Pond. I don't know, and I don't think it's
rink.
owned by them, but it could be. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, if it's the Pond, it has to be an ice rink. Right?
Yeah. So they got their own hockey rink as well. So I mean, that's going to be sweet. I mean, going up there and doing hockey. I know some other teams around this area, like Canfield, their guys have approached me to do some hockey games, and
let's go.
I'm willing to do that, and that'll be another groundbreaking experiment here on YSN if we're able to do some hockey, because
I can't wait.
It's growing up towards the Cleveland area. I know that for sure, which is nice to see.
Which is wild because Cleveland doesn't have a hockey team.
They don't have a hockey team.
They used to have the Monsters. I don't know if they still do.
They still do.
Do they? Okay, so but they don't have a professional hockey team. Closest one's in Columbus and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Which you don't say that word too often over in Cleveland. I've come to find out.
No, I mean, see. Everybody in Cleveland, though, likes Ohio State.
They do, which is weird.
Yeah. But, well, if you think about it, the only college that's D1 in Cleveland is Cleveland State. And they're smaller D1.
But then you have Kent State.
Then you have Kent State nearby. You got Toledo across the way. Obviously, Youngstown State's here. Bowling Green is even closer.
Yeah.
And then Ohio State, which Ohio State's the biggest.
Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's the state of Ohio school. We're going to talk about this. Is an interesting topic that we should probably kind of hone in on after the break. But getting back to Orange real quick, I think that it's imperative that people know that it's not. We love Youngstown. Our bread and butter is Youngstown, and it always will be. But the Y in YSN does not stand for Youngstown. It is where we start, but it is certainly not where we want to finish. When we do things, because we're a proud company from the Youngstown area, from East Palestine, a Canfield kid, an East Palestine kid. And, we're trying to do big things for everybody, across the country, not just here in Ohio, not just in Pennsylvania, but across the country. So we're excited to have Orange. Coach Senor is just amped up, and we're going to see what they're made of, because Mineral Ridge is no slouch.
No joke.
They are no joke, man. They were the Avalon Downtown Play of the Week. Dante Senafani had it, and you and I were you said it to me last night. I'd already seen it. I mean, they got some dudes.
Yeah, they do. Mineral Ridge, who is now a more experienced team, and they built that new stadium. You got some other teams playing at that stadium now as well. Yep. So, it's going to be a lot of fun to see them play, and hopefully it's a good game between Orange and Mineral Ridge, between the orange and black.
Orange and black attack. I like it. We're going to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk about fandom. We're going to talk about why everybody is gravitated towards Ohio State. Is it because it's Ohio State and it's tradition and a family, or is it because I don't know?
Because they win.
They win because we're a bunch of front runners. We'll talk about that when we come back right here on the Ysn Power Hour. Maybe. Go.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
It's a new year at Acura of Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi with huge savings on over 350 fully inspected vehicles. We have cars, trucks, SUVs, minivans, and work vehicles. We don't have it, our team will find it. We aim for 100% credit approval with payments as low as $99 per month. And as always, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. For a great vehicle and a great experience, come see why everyone is stopping by at Acura Boardman and Boardman Mitsubishi.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting, where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education, and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
You know, being able to have success on the football field and the basketball court and just every aspect of, my sports career is now documented. One of the greatest things about high school sports is to be able to talk about it for the rest of your life and to look back on the days with my buddies whenever we would have some battles, whether it was with, our rival or just another game. And I could go back and look at it and, not only myself, but my family members, my teammates, and it's something that will last a lifetime. My name is Parker Sherry, and my sports network is your sports network.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk Futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley, Richie Giuliano with you. And if you're a South Range fan, okay, we just kind of looked up university school, and like, this is no joke. If you're a South Range fan, you might want to get up there.
Get there early.
As fast as you can. Like, it's a 5 o'clock game, which we're not accustomed to. It's going to be weird for us because by the time the audible call rolls around, that game should be all wrapped up. Should be all tied up and ready to go. We should have some highlights coming in. But we just saw the visitor stands.
Visiting
stands. My goodness.
Holds maybe 200 people.
Smaller, significantly smaller than the away side for South Range. That sits at South Range. And if you've ever been to a South Range game, it's packed on the home side. So if you are a Raider fan, if you are listening to this program, get there as soon as possible. I don't know if it's the blanket policy or even when the gates open, but this is going to be a crazy, because I don't even know that there's a fence over there. Is there? I'm looking at it. It doesn't look like there's a fence, but there's not much. It's going to be in there. There's nowhere to stand.
No.
You're going to have to stand literally.
Yeah, there is a little fence, but there's no separation really between the track and where the visiting stands are. Go to the right a little bit.
So there you go.
There's the track, and then there's the stands. Then you can see that little fence there. I wish I had a telestrator. But outside of that, you got the restrooms. Where are you going to stand? Because they're not going to let you on the field near that track.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've been there once before. I did a Cheney game there, and it clicked whenever you showed me that. I was like, oh my goodness. There's not a whole lot of home bleachers.
No, I mean, it's not that big of a stadium.
I mean, it's a beautiful campus. The facilities are gorgeous. But Raider fans, you are going to have to show up quick. Yeah. Get there, because otherwise you're going to be standing. I don't know where. You might even be standing. I know there's it kind of goes down into a valley a little bit. So they might be standing up there. So if I know South Range fans, they'll find one way or another to be able to cheer on their team. So excited for that. 5:00 start. There are no lights at that field, so that's why that's happening. Yeah. So we will have you covered from pillar to post for that game as well. Myself, and breaking news, Gary Nittle will be with me. He's able to make the journey, so we're excited to have G Nitz in the G unit right next beside me.
Stand on that chair again to do the camera.
That was bad news bears, man. No pun because of the Gare Bear either. All right, Rich. Let's break this down. Ohio State fans, if you're from Ohio, do you / should you root for Ohio State?
See, this is tough because I'm an Ohio State fan. Everybody I know is an Ohio State fan. And that's why people out of state get so upset. Like my cousin's a Penn State fan.
Sure.
He despises every Ohioan because they're Ohio State fans.
I think they despise every Ohioan because we're from Ohio.
Well, that too. But like we mentioned, like if you're in the Cleveland metro area, everybody likes Ohio State.
Yep.
Because your closest school is Cleveland State, smaller D1. They're in the Horizon League. Never a contender for a national championship.
They're not on national television typically.
They're not on national television either. You move over, you go to Toledo and Bowling Green, who are on the MAC. You go down. Cincinnati, probably the second best Ohio athletic team in the state of Ohio.
Sure.
But outside of that, if you're not in the Cincinnati metro area or the Dayton area, everybody north and everybody east likes Ohio State.
Just because it's the state team, you think, or because
they're good?
There it is.
Because they're good,
and that's what worries me. And I think we've talked about on the show a few times before. Maybe I'm not an Ohio State fan. I'm not an avid college fan to begin with, but I have a hard time rooting for colleges that I didn't graduate from.
Yeah,
I graduated from Westminster. I'll root for Westminster until the day I died because I went there. Mm-hmm. I can also root for Ohio Northern to a degree because I went there for a year. I don't know. I don't get the draw. Like maybe because it's Ohio, might be the only reason. But
I think it's all about culture in this state.
Sure.
And when your parents raise you, and every single Saturday you're going to your buddy's house because there's a tailgate party to watch Ohio State at noon. It's almost embedded into your fan system now. You're almost born an Ohio State fan because of that.
I get it.
Like when I was a kid, my uncle had season tickets at Ohio State, so we went up and we watched the Buckeyes all the time. My grandparents, fortunately, they were with a really good company, and there was a game. I brought my best friend, and we were able to sit in a loge. So that was an unbelievable experience there. And it's just like those type of moments going up there and not just watching their football program, but I've been to Schottenstein Center when they played Duke and when they played Kansas. Mm-hmm. So before I went to Youngstown State, from the time I was 7 years old to when I was 16 years old going to Youngstown State, I was all Ohio State.
But you have ties, is what you're saying. And your brother's going to Ohio State. So if you don't have ties, the fandom, I don't want to say it bothers me. It intrigues me. Like, why are people so obsessed with Ohio State when they're not willing to invest other than anything but a jersey or a hat or something like that?
It's so easy to be an Ohio State fan. It's so easy. Every single game they have is on national television.
If Ohio State was bad, and they've been there.
If Ohio State was bad, nobody would be an Ohio State fan.
I don't remember, like, prior to Jim Tressel, I'm going to be dead honest with you. Prior to Tress getting there, I don't remember too many people boasting about being an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
And then he shows up, and then it goes off the charts. And we've heard nothing but sense. I know there's some people that you may know that are in our same circles that drives them nuts if you show up to an Ohio or a Youngstown State game with an Ohio State memorabilia on. Yeah. But it happens. It is what it is. Both teams are red.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of that going into it. Is there a rite of passage? Like, should you have ties to a team in order to be able to root for them, so to speak?
Well, it's a lot different in this state because there's two major institutions that are big D1, but there's also a lot of colleges in the state of Ohio as well. But some of them are in smaller towns.
Yep.
Like you look at Miami, you look at Ohio. Like
Sure.
if you don't live in those two towns, like you're not going to be a Bobcats fan. You're not going to be a Red Hawks fan.
No.
But I just think it all comes down to the culture at Ohio State, and it's so easy because it's like Alabama. If Alabama wasn't good, who else would you root for in that state? There's nobody.
No.
UAB is the only other team,
And they hate each other.
In Auburn.
Yeah.
But like, if you live 4 hours away from Auburn, so like I think it all comes down to winning, to be honest with you, because if they were losing, and Alabama was losing, those fan bases would be minuscule compared to what they are right now.
Now I'm going to put a caveat in here because my father-in-law, Lawrence J. Miller, the legend, always watches this show at his convenience. And when Sarah and I were dating, he was a huge Penn State guy. Loved it. Penn State scandals go down. He flips to Alabama because his sister and brother-in-law live in Alabama, nephews, and just liked Alabama. And again, pardon me. At the time, Alabama was on the rise. It was when Nick Saban steps in and all that stuff. Now, he's an avid, like everything's Alabama.
Yeah.
Like everything is Alabama. Never seen him in the skivvies, but I bet you if Lawrence J. Miller was out there in the tighty whities, there'd be a Crimson A on the back of him. So huge Alabama fan, and I appreciate it because his loyalty and his standards clashed at one point, and he went with his standards, and I love that. Same with Ohio State for me. Loved Ohio State.
Yeah.
Once they treated Tress the way they did, that was my guy.
Yeah.
And Youngstown over Ohio State all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
But for colleges nowadays, it's almost like its own transfer portal. Like you see kids wearing jerseys all the time of different universities and schools and things of that nature. Who's your favorite team? Oh, I don't got one. I just follow players.
Yeah.
Like I call that the LeBron factor because myself included, I had the LeBron Cavs jersey. I had the LeBron Heat jersey. I pulled the punch at the Lakers jersey. I was like, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. You're not screwing over Cleveland twice and me supporting you. What is loyalty anymore in the sports world?
Hard to come by. Because, I mean, nowadays, with social media being so big and players being promoted at a different scale, you've got guys like, I don't know, let's just throw Manny Machado out there.
Oh.
People buy San Diego gear because of Manny Machado. They buy the hat, they buy his jersey, but they don't like that team. They just like that player.
Mike Trout?
Yeah, Mike Trout. Nobody likes the Angels around here.
Give me the 7-hitter for the Angels right now.
Like,
tell me who that is.
Like,
awful.
They've been terrible, but with Ohtani and with Trout, people just like those players. And they'll wear their Angels hats just because they're a Mike Trout fan or an Ohtani fan. So it's more individualized than it ever has been. Like back in the day, if you like the Angels, you were staying up at night, you're watching the Angels and listening to them on the radio. Like nowadays, like if you like the Angels, you see a few clips on Twitter and on TikTok, you're like, oh, nice. There's my favorite player doing good.
Do you think it's impacted the next generation of athlete? I mean, we see open enrollment a lot here, right? I went to Cleveland and it's not like that up there. It's weird. It's weird in the sense that you feel like it's night and day between Youngstown and Cleveland because whoever you get in Cleveland. And down here, you can select to be an open enrollment school or not. I think we're starting to see that the culture of professionals and free agency running rampant in what we have in high school. Do you agree?
I mean, look what happened with Liberty's best player.
Yeah.
He's playing with Ursuline now, and they're going to be one of the best teams in the area. And, we've talked about this, and I think Jamie brought that point up on last Friday on our Super Show. The amount of talent that Liberty has lost over the last couple of years. So the Irish itself is unbelievable. Liberty could have one of the best teams, not just in the region, but in the state if they kept all their guys. Like they had Lynn Bowden, Liberty guy through and through until he transferred to Harding. You got DC Farrell who threw for 1,800 yards until he transfers to Ursuline. It's like that free agency market is just opening up around this area. And, with Ursuline and the way they're able to give out like scholarships, they're almost like a college just recruiting people in.
And what's crazy to me, it's not just about it's I don't want to blame this just on one or two schools, because it isn't necessarily. It's everybody. Yeah. If you're an open enrollment school, you have a hard time turning people down, because listen, it's not just football players, it's not just basketball, not just student athletes. You're bringing money into that district. Yeah. $4,000-$6,000 a head into that district in order to be an open enrollment. And there has to be. I like open enrollment because I listen. My kids will probably be open enrollment to some school because of our circumstance. But we're both stay-at-home parents, and you sit there and you go, okay, I want them to go here because they like this. They feel like fit in here. So I'm not going to bash open enrollment. I'm not going to bash homeschool, or not homeschool. Certainly not bash them. But I'm not going to bash teams that and schools that are homegrown. But my thing is the grass isn't always greener is my biggest thing. And I'm not saying that the kids that transfer just this year, shame on them. No. You made your choice. There's lots of choices you make every day and then throughout your life. This is one you're going to have to live with, whether it's good or bad. But what I'm trying to get at is you see the loyalty changing, where I didn't have the opportunity to ever change jerseys in high school. Would I have? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you, because I may have. But I'm glad I didn't, because those were my guys. But you get a group of guys that, hey, we can have a pretty good baseball team. We can have a pretty good football team. And our education is pretty good too. If you swing over this way and, you're a stone's throw away from two different schools, wherever you go in this county and, the above county. So would you have entertained the idea, and what would it have taken for you to go to a different school?
No, I never would have left.
Good for you.
Never would have left. I mean, some of my guys that I played with are still some of my best friends in my life right now. So, and we were really good. Yeah. So, I mean, it would have made no sense for me to leave.
But right now, gear, people are leaving because they get better gear at this school than that school. To me, that's a little bit ludicrous.
No, for me, I mean, I was fortunate to be, growing up in a great system over there at Canfield, and they've got great leaders, not just, on the field, but in the classroom as well. So I was very fortunate to go through that system, and, they probably would have had to pay me to leave, honestly.
Now, the one thing that I don't like is people are leaving, and they're trying to get rid of the transfer rule, which is you sit out the back end of the season in the playoffs, because they're claiming being bullied. I'm against that. I'm that drives me nuts, because if you're making a decision, if you're a big enough person to make that decision, then you should be big enough to take the cause, right? Take the punishment that comes with it, so to speak.
Well, I miss the old rules in, college athletics. I think still, if you want to transfer, that's fine, because if you get there in your freshman, sophomore year, things don't go your way, and there's different things that could happen outside of the classroom, whether, you miss your parents, you want to go back home, there's a family circumstance. That's great. Come back home, go to a different school, whatever you got to do personally to fit your needs, but sit out of here.
Yep.
I think there's got to be some sort of punishment for just transferring. Because,
at the college level, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see all these really good players, 4-star, 5-star athletes that, get there their freshman year. They're like, you know what? I'm playing really good here, but, I made this commitment to the smaller school, but I think I have a better advantage of going to Alabama. And you do. Don't get me wrong. If you could start at Alabama, you're going to get 10 times the amount of looks to go play in the NFL anywhere else. But you should have to sit out of here.
You should. I mean, again, you made the choice. There's people that were counting on you, and now they can't.
Yeah.
So you should not be able to. But at the same time, this is going to sound crazy, I also think coaches should as well.
Yeah.
If you're recruiting kids going into their parents' living room and saying, hey, you can count on me, and you're looking them dead in the eye, the coaches should have to sit out a year between stints as well, because a lot of those kids won't make the cut under that next tutelage of that coach.
Yeah.
Siggy says loyalty in sports is a generational thing. Today's generation is what's the flavor of the day. Agree? Disagree?
I agree. I think it's all generational. Yeah. Because, back in the day, like you said, nobody transferred.
No.
Like when you were around, but
you really couldn't unless you moved. You're not transferring schools. Very rarely, very, very rarely would you have that. But I got to be honest, I sit here and I can browbeat some of these kids of this generation, but I didn't have those choices to make. And I don't know what choices I would have made. I mean, at that time, listen, 17-year-old DJ Yoakley, if, we're playing Halo late at night and you make some friends, you're like, you know what? This would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of neat hanging out with these guys more. But you don't know because you're not put in that situation. That's why I know it sounds like I'm flip-flopping right now. It sounds like I'm a politician, but the reality is we don't know because we never had the chance.
Nope.
Ursuline wasn't knocking on my door. Mooney wasn't knocking on. No school was knocking because they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't happening. I know guys that said no along the way that were pretty good athletes, that were Catholic. I wasn't one of them. So I can't say that I would have or I wouldn't, but I want to feel like I wouldn't.
I would not. I mean, there's no chance.
I would transfer this cough right now.
just because like those guys are my dudes. Like you said, like those are my like childhood good friends.
Those are the dudes that are going to be in your wedding.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Where would I go? Like
if I was a coach, I'd recruit you.
Yeah, but like, I mean, where would I possibly go? Like maybe Ursuline or Mooney. I'm a Catholic guy, so. But
Bishop Sycamore.
Yes.
Richie, this is DJ Yoakley, head baseball coach at Bishop Sycamore. We like you a heck of a lot in the middle infield. Why don't you come on over?
I'll fly out tomorrow.
Oh man, it is time to go. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? It's time for Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? It's the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark?
Just take it over.
Just do it.
All right. Joe Dickey Electric, what is your spark? I'll start it off with, I just want to give a big thank you to, Coach Lazzari, who's going to hop on tomorrow at 11:30 for a Coach's Corner. We're going to try and preview that and then get it on here on the Power Hour sometime tomorrow.
We don't have Power Hour tomorrow. I just realized.
Oh, Thursday.
Yep.
Prime time.
Yep.
Well, you know what? It'll be up on the website.
That's
It'll be up on YouTube, so you can go watch it. Maybe we'll put it on Monday or something like that,
sure,
so fans can see it. But, Coach Lazzari, who's doing multiple things right now. He is juggling multiple objects. He is also the athletic director at Newton Falls, so he's handling everything, with the rosters, the media, getting everything set up for, the band and all the fans that are going to travel to Jackson Milton this Friday to take on the Blue Jays. So
you'll be there.
A lot going on. I'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, not able to go up to Bellevue, but, I'm looking forward to what's going to be a good matchup, I think. Jackson Milton, a team that came out and put up a lot of points, and their quarterback had 7 touchdowns, and so did Newton Falls, beating St. John as well. So I think it's going to be a really good week 2 matchup, and, I'm looking forward to that. Just, a big spark goes out to Coach Lazzari, who's doing multiple things, and we appreciate him, fitting us into his really busy schedule over the last couple of days. So.
You and Kyle Wheels.
Yes, sir.
Kyle Wheels. Mine is going to be this stupid cough. Like, I just straight up, I'm done with it. I don't know what I got to do to get rid of it. It's been around since Friday. And it can go anytime now. Like I had a small cough for like 9 months. And now this thing took over.
9 months.
It's like this baby just took over. And I'm done with it. You got any remedies, send them our way. We're trying to get better by Friday. Physically, I feel great. But it's this coughing. The coughing. And it's we were talking during the break. The sneaky cough. The very sneaky cough. And that's what he does when I say sneaky cough. As a broadcaster, it's not a good thing.
No, it's not, because it could come up on you quick. It'll
be,
fans, it's third down.
So thanks for putting up with me yesterday and today. Basically, that's what it's all about. That's going to do it for our show. Again, no show tomorrow, Thursdays during football season, because we have YSN Primetime. We will be live from Louisville tomorrow. Coach Davis, the athletic director, Terry Horn, and a couple of the Leopards will join us. Bob Burek, the voice of the Leopards, will be with us, and you can be too at 5 o'clock on ysnlive.com. For Richie Giuliano, my name is DJ Yoakley. That's going to do it for our show. We'll see you tomorrow throughout the day here on ysnlive.com. Peace be with you. YSN, thank